Welcome into the latest edition then of Extra Time. Boys, it's interesting, Jules mentioned, obviously, Postecoglou making that call, which was part of the Tell deal and got it through. Did you speak to managers before you went?
Keegan called me, moving from Reading to Newcastle.
And what did he say?
I thought it was a prank call.
Did you?
Well, I'm sitting at home, it's pre-cell phone days.
Yes,
somebody calls, oh, this is Kevin Keegan. Yeah, right. It's the first thing that comes to mind. And eventually I just let the person talk, and then I realized, hold on, it really is Kevin Keegan. So Keegan called me. I spoke with Harry Redknapp before the Newcastle to West Ham. Then again, West Ham to Pompey.
Right.
Harry.
Oh, okay.
Can you do a Harry impression on the phone?
No,
Please.
not at all. And then
Are you all right? You all right, Shaka?
All right, Shaka. I need you, mate. I need you. Come on,
Shaka. Shaka.
What do you think about coming down to the coast, mate?
I don't know where this is going. No idea where. Short answer to your question, Dan. I spoke to all the managers before.
Really, all of them? Kasey,
Yeah, I got to that point after I had a teammate that signed on loan, and the manager said to him, I asked the sporting director for a striker or a defender, and you're a midfielder. I don't know why you're here.
Brilliant.
Oh, lovely.
And from that point on, I made sure I spoke with every manager before I made a move, just to make sure that this wasn't some deal that somebody was cutting behind somebody's back, that they actually wanted me there.
Okay. What about you, Nedum?
So when I first left Man City, I went to Sunderland, and to do that, Steve Bruce, the manager at the time, spoke to Fraser Campbell, who he had at the team already.
Right.
Who's like one of my closest friends, and he got him to do the recruiting to get me to go there.
Oh, wow.
So I went there.
I'm seeing if you had a crush on him as well.
Yeah, listen, don't start this. Fraser took me up there, and then when I went to QPR, actually, in the August window, Neil Warnock was manager. I didn't go to QPR, but then come January, Mark Hughes was manager, and I did go to QPR.
So Neil Warnock spoke to you and you didn't like his tone?
Neil Warnock spoke to me and it didn't feel like the right move. But then...
What was it that he said that you didn't like?
I can't really go into it on air.
Ah, yeah, you can.
Yeah, you can.
Don't give us the old 99% of the story.
The old Jordan Henderson.
Jordan Henderson.
The old Jordan Henderson.
Yeah.
You know.
Neil's a very...
Was it a vibe that you got, or what was it?
It's a vibe.
Maybe just a bit too northern for me.
Oh, dear. Wow. You're Manchester born and bred.
I know, that's my point. That's my point.
Sorry, I'm not going to join you. You're far too
We'll
northern.
talk afterwards.
You are far too northern. Oh, this is great.
Mario?
Yes. No, I definitely, I did the same like the boys did. You know, like, especially, I think the special moment was when I went from Ajax to Chelsea. I think I had the same like Shaka had. Redknapp called me and tried to persuade me to come to West Ham. West Ham at that time. And at that time he had a lot of great talents in that team, so he was trying to sell that team so good to me. And Julien came over, but he came to Amsterdam to see me because he signed Hupia. So then he came over and he tried to persuade me to come over. But then there was one phone call from Mr. Vialli, and that was the best call ever as a footballer. He calls me up. And I was at the final with Chelsea for the Champions League. And he literally, I asked him his jersey, and I didn't have a jersey anymore. So he said, I can give you my short. So I took the short, go home. Then, like later on, he calls me up, and he says, Mario, how are you? I said, I'm good. He said, do you know that I want you to come to Chelsea? And I go, oh, yeah, okay, Mr. Vialli, yeah, okay. So, and he goes, but one thing, before we carry this conversation, can you bring back my short for me, please? And I go, and I'm quiet. And I'm like, what? How does he still know that he gave the shot to me? Next thing you know, I put the phone down, I tell my agent, listen, you don't have to talk to anybody. I want to go to Chelsea. Bring me to that team. And literally, he brought me to that team. That's how I signed for Chelsea.
Ah, there we are. Vialli, Warnock, name difference. Jules, what do you want? I'm being bullied like, in my ear that I have to talk to you about Manchester City and Arsenal.
What do you mean, Manchester City?
I don't know. Mike's banging on about it. What do you want him to say? Well, no, now he's backing down. Well, this is embarrassing for you.
Boy.
For Jules,
but
should Real Madrid...
Just what I would say on...
Go on, Jules.
No, just what I would say on what the boy just said. There's still today a lot of players who don't talk to the managers to be before joining a club, which on the back of everything that the boys have just said, and today in this day and age now, the fact that some of them still don't speak to their manager and still commit to a club is really beyond belief. It's crazy.
It's mad, isn't it? Yeah, very weird. For Jules, should Real Madrid have been active in the January transfer window for players in centre-back positions? How does Rudiger's injury affect their chances in winning the tie against Manchester City or La Liga?
Yeah, it's a great question. We don't know yet exactly how long Rudiger will be out for. We know that Alaba is back training, but it's probably still surely a long way to being able to play every 3 days in the Champions League, in the league, etc., etc. So it's very surprising. I think Carlo wanted at least one, if not two, defenders in the January transfer window. We know they tried for Trent. Trent was always a long shot from the beginning, let's be honest here. But they could easily have gone for maybe a versatile player. Didn't have to be a super big name or an expensive player that could play right centre back, right back, and just deputize for a little bit until everybody comes back fit, until Trent arrives in the summer. All of that, but Florentino Perez was adamant from day one that was not going to happen. So I think they light now defensively, especially going into the tie against City. The first leg is next week. I think we forget because usually there's so much time between the end of the group stage and the last 16. But because of this format now, they're arriving so quickly, those playoffs. So yeah, it's a bit of a worry for Real Madrid.
But the squad depth for Real Madrid in defense, this isn't something new. This is something over the last 18 months.
I suppose Perez is saying, look, you did it last year.
Yeah,
you won the league and the Champions League without Militao. Go and do it again.
Moving midfielders in and
sort it
outside backs at centre back and just trying to figure it out. But
Kasey, can Aston Villa be the dark horse of the Champions League this season after the signing of Rashford, Asensio and Disasi? What's the point? How many points are they off? Let's have a look.
Well, I think what they're going to need is
6 points.
They're going to need players to click. Right? They're going to need, we talked about Rashford, and is it one of those situations where he's been waiting for this, and he really takes advantage of it and goes on and plays well.
It's Aston Villa be the dark horse.
Yeah, exactly. There we go. There we go.
Oh, I'm sorry.
English is hard.
Well done, Dan.
Look,
no, they're not going to win the Champions League.
Well, of course, but it would be remarkable. But what I would like to see from, I think, anybody, when you make moves in the transfer window, you want to see them be successful. And are they successful in Champions League, successful in League, but be able to go in and kind of reestablish themselves. And so that's what I'd like to see from those guys.
Mike's so happy I mucked that up. Supportive.
I'm delighted as well.
Yeah, most definitely. Aston Villa, Champions League?
Maybe one more round. I can't see it, to be honest.
Qualifying for Champions League for next year?
That's an interesting question, Kasey, which I actually...
Yeah, that was your own question which you sent in yourself.
Yeah, I heard that.
If only somebody thought of asking that.
Yeah.
Boy.
Shaka.
Yeah?
Your official yearly Carnival getaway.
Uh-oh.
No, I don't think you're going this year.
No, I'm not going this year.
Oh, wow. Now, rate how each of the panel members would perform in Carnival, including their strengths and weaknesses. So I think we've got to start with Mario, surely, would be...
Mario's a runaway winner. Mario's a winner.
Mario's on the lead float.
Mario's a winner.
Yeah.
Mario's an absolute winner.
Yeah.
What do you
100%.
Why? For me,
because you're full of carnival spirit.
Then
you are.
repeat the question, please.
No. Who would be the best company for Shaka?
Listen, I've never been to the Carnival in his country. Shaka, we had this conversation a while ago, a couple of years ago. So if you plan to go and it happens to fit, I would definitely want to come and be your shadow, my friend. Because the Carnival in your country, I heard it's amazing. I've been to Rio de Janeiro and it was really amazing. But I heard about your country because it's close to Suriname, where I'm from. And that's why I know your country can back it up too. So I've been to your airport, but I never went into the country. So I want to see more of it. So my brother, allow me to be your shadow and I'll be there.
Yes. Yeah.
Shaka and I, we had a qualifying game one time against each other during Carnival.
Yeah.
Did you?
Yeah.
Was Shaka in his feathers?
Well, there's a reason why we won.
They shipped us out to Tobago.
I was going to say, it must have been
they wouldn't allow us.
Who would struggle the most out of everyone at Carnival?
Who would struggle?
Yes.
Oh, definitely me.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, Kasey.
Yeah. And then
I'll hold my hand up. Then
I don't know. Nedum's sense of fun isn't really part of his personality trait, so that would be tricky in like somewhere like Carnival.
Listen, it's fine. Carry on.
Yeah.
No, Nedum's all right.
This is the last time
just as long as there are no Northerners. Just as long as no Northerners, Nedum's all right.
They're like northern Port-au-Prince.
What about Jules' friend Gab Marcotti?
He'd melt. I think he would melt.
Jules would be good. Jules would be good for Carnival. Jules would be good for Carnival.
Gab will drive the bus. Gab will drive the bus. He's the bus driver. We need a bus driver.
What, the one who drives the floats?
Yeah. That's as good as we were going to get from Gab.
Who's more likely to win the Premier League in the next 5 years, Nedum? Chelsea, Manchester United, or Newcastle?
Oof.
Oh. I mean,
I don't think Newcastle.
Look at the Chelsea guy.
I'd probably say Chelsea. I'd say Chelsea because they're like quite good now and they're young.
Yes.
You can see them getting better. United are existing. And Newcastle,
Well
I think,
done, Nedum.
Yeah,
Well done, Nedum.
I don't see it. I
we
think it's probably Chelsea, yeah.
Last and final question, Jules. Gab really struggled with this yesterday, so let's see if you can do a better job. Can you explain the NBA trade in football terms?
The big trade.
He's a big
Does he even
basketball
know
guy.
what the trade
He's a big
is?
basketball
I
guy.
know he is
Jules
a big
knows.
basketball. I know, he's there.
Yeah. Because you saw Matt Hummels saying like, thank God we don't have trade in football like they do in basketball. Matt Hummels clearly scared to be traded with
With me.
Nedum
on the seat.
Onuoha ice peak, obviously.
Yes, exactly.
Obviously. How we can explain it? It's a swap basically. So you swap players that you think you don't want anymore in your squads against players that you would think could improve your squad basically. And if you go for the Doncic and Anthony Davis's trade, which is obviously the blockbuster that just happened, that blew everybody's minds. Then I don't know, to try to find two similar footballers, one defender, I guess, one more of a forward, and a swap that actually kind of could have happened. I need a bit more time, but yeah, it's pretty easy to explain. It's just a swap between two players.
Right. But you can't give us two football players
like
as an analogy that we could relate to.
No, I guess for Doncic, we're talking about a top, certainly in terms of scoring in the NBA, All-Star and everything. Let's think about somebody probably like Harry Kane. Okay, that's your Doncic. Okay, and you swap him with a super good defender, I guess. Now, I don't want to put AD in that just bracket of a defender, but still. And that's why the Mavs did that trade, by the way, is to be stronger defensively, because they believe that you win the NBA title by being the best defense. So, yeah, you move Kane for...
Van Dijk.
AD is older than Doncic. Oh, this is...
It's impossible, Jules. Kane
Doncic is younger, so Kane doesn't really work out.
What?
That's the trade.
They're on the same team.
Tell's going to where?
What? Why didn't they do it before?
You see?
Terrible.
Kane for Van Dijk, I'm happy with.
Okay, there we go.
Go away. Go away. Stop the show.
That's the last thing you can. That's your last contribution before you go back to England.
I know.
I'm not taking you to Carnival. Just for that.
All right.
That's it, guys.
Yeah, you see, okay, I didn't get my answer to my invite too. Why didn't I get my answer?
Oh, boy. That is it. We're done. Thank you so much for watching. We'll be back tomorrow for more reflections on what happened in the transfer deadline day thing.